Okay, how's everybody doing? How we doing? How we doing? This is gonna be my first YouTube video that I'm gonna upload and try to take it a little more seriously. My name's Chungus. If you haven't heard of me, I play a lot of DBD. I do a lot of survivor and killer content. I have roughly close to 15k hours in this game. And today I wanted to talk about the current state of Dead by Daylight. So the things that we're gonna talk about are killers that are seeing a lot of play, killers that are not, and we're gonna probably try to address some of the perks that are seen more and seen less. So without further ado, I guess we're just gonna go ahead and get started. I'm probably gonna edit this video a bit and try my editing skills out. Seeing this is my first YouTube video, I'll be doing a lot of streaming, so I'll go ahead and get you guys put onto that as well. But let's go ahead and talk about what's currently going on in DBD and why some things are going good, what's good about the game, what's bad about the game, and my input. So the good. The good thing about Dead by Daylight right now is that I think we're finally moving in a better direction. So I think some things that got addressed was we're getting a lot more killers that a lot of people wanted to see. Such as Jason was a big thing that came for this game that a lot of people I think were looking forward to, including myself. We got a new roadmap, so we're going to be getting new dynamics. We're going to get some weather changes. We're going to be getting some mod capabilities that are going to be coming into the game. We're getting new game modes that are going to involve zombies, so that was really exciting. So that's a lot of good that I was looking forward to and I was hoping for. We're getting so for some of the sweatier players, we're going to be having a competition mode now. So we're going to have 1v1s that are going to be available. All of this isn't going to be dropping within like the next 1 or 2 weeks. This will be just kind of later down the road, but we're going to be getting a new killer that's going to be coming into the game after Jason. It's going to be an angel spider-like creature. They revealed a little bit of concept art, and it looked pretty exciting. So that'll be cool. To talk a bit about what's going on in the game as of now, though, and not in the future. So currently I've been playing with a lot of my friends, and a lot of us are decently experienced. I'd say we all roughly have combined, we'll say somewhere in the 30k hour mark, maybe higher. We've been doing some streakage recently. And honestly, I don't know how survivors who are solo queue or don't have these many hours as we do compete. I've always been under the impression and belief that the killers in this game were weaker than to survivors, and I still think that's true. But I think for majority as of right now, I think the killer is actually more dominant, and I'm gonna explain why. So players like us, we're using communication, we're using Discord, we're using stack perks, we all know map callouts decently well. We're coordinating calling, and we're still in a position where we're still struggling to even get a win. Now, then if somebody was to like argue that and be like, you know, Chung, maybe you're just kind of not good at this game. Well, that's partially true, but I think so picture players who have like, you know, 30 to 40k hours total, and then even us now with communication and stack perks and items are still struggling to go against some killers. So my point is that I do not think that DBD is in a good state, because one, killers don't want to verse what we're using. Like, we have multiple decisive strikes on the team. Well, for anyone who doesn't know already too, I'll try to break down some of the top perks in the game right now. One of them is decisive strike. Decisive strike, shoulder of the burden. Shoulder of the burden is a survivor perk that you can take and move stages. So you can, if I was to be hooked twice in a game, instead of one of my teammates has shoulder of the burden, they could take one of those hook stages and put it onto themselves, so that way I can remain in the game longer. That's the goal for survivors. You want to keep all of us alive as long as you can. So there's this kind of meta going around for killer at the moment, and we try to anticipate it. We try to play around it and try to, you know, give some counterplay rather than complain about it and just say that we got, you know, destroyed by ping. So the build that's kind of going around that a lot of killers are using right now, and it's very effective, is a totem build. So it involves using Hex Rune, it involves using Hex Throw of the Hunt, and then there's a mix of Pentimento, Undying, and Blood Favor. Usually, or sometimes they'll splash in Pain Res, just because Scorch Hook Pain Res is one of the strongest killer perks in the game right now. But so why is this perk? Why is this whole idea a problem in the first place? Why can't killers be good? Killers can be good, and I'm not saying killers can't win games. They definitely should be able to. Killers, you know, they got to work hard in the 4v1. And if they get their win, oftentimes I feel they deserve it, you know? But the point of that I'm trying to make is that if 4 survivors have this many hours and we're struggling this hard on just picture solo queue players or more casual players. These guys have almost no chance, and I think this is something that we maybe could talk about or address, or maybe we could all have a discussion. So Jason in game right now, my opinion on this killer specifically is I think I had a pretty low impression of him at the start when I was doing a PTB, and that's often because when players are first playing him, they're learning. And so I was like, all right, this killer's like not that good. He's probably like, you know, B tier, maybe mid B tier. After playing against him quite a few times, a lot of times, we got Jason like back to back in most of our games when I was playing with my friends. But I have a different opinion. I don't think that Jason is the best killer in the game. However, I do think Jason is very good. And I think that his capabilities could be pretty impressive, especially due to the casual or solo queue player. Jason with these totem build that's going around right now is very strong, and it's something that most players I don't think will have a chance against. So players like me who don't always want to stack or don't always have the luxury to stack with my teammates, when I want to go load up this game and stream for you guys, or you know, just try to have fun, it's very hard to get some sort of a victory when you got teammates who are already giving up. You have no communication. Not everybody's even playing like that. But the killer is. They're going into the game beforehand, and they're playing to win. Now, you like... So something that a lot of people miss or they'll bring up to me is like, they'll talk to me about like, hey, Chung, why don't you ever just go and like have fun, you know? Why don't you just go play Demogorgon? Or why don't you just like bring Deception or some fun perks, you know, that where you can kind of mess around with the killer? It's because currently in the MMR lobbies that I'm getting, I don't know about a lot of other players, but they're a lot more sweaty. Like, they're a lot more strong. And you're going to be going up against players who are playing to win, who are streaking, and nobody's playing these killers anymore. They're almost non-existent. The killer roster in Dead by Daylight is getting close to, I want to say, 40 killers now, if it's not already there. Or maybe it's 30, I don't know. But anyway... there's this large sum of killers, and to be honest, you're going to see maybe like 5 to 10 of them, and most of them are up on the higher end. That's fine, I guess, but I think we should just try to like take a lot of these lower tier killers that don't see as much play or are not as good, and we should definitely buff them. A few killers that I'm going to name off that you're often not going to see in high MMR is going to be Demogorgon, Doctor. I think Hag's underrated, but that's just not a killer that you're not going to see. You're not going to see very many like Bubbas. You're not going to see very many Huntresses. My point that I'm trying to make is we're getting a lot of killers here that are very, very strong, and a lot of players who are playing this game in a more competitive kind of way, including myself sometimes. But I think if we wanted to kind of fix this issue, I think if we just kind of tone down some of the stronger killers a little bit, we don't have to make them terrible. We can still make them good and playable, but we should definitely take either tone them down or make the killers who are weaker even better, so we can have more variety and more options. And because honestly, the games that I go to get when I'm playing with a lot of my friends and some others, I'm sure some players who also play as much as I do can relate. A lot of your games are often going to be Ghoul, Light. Now Jason, because I think Jason's pretty good. Or you're going to also see a lot of Henry Creel. And a lot of these killers that are being played all are either using one of two things. It's going to be Totem Build, which I just talked about. Or it's going to be Pain Res and Deadman Switch. Or it's going to be Corrupt, Turn Back the Clock, Pain Res, Deadman Switch. Something along those lines. And you're just going to... So I just think that, like... Coming from I've played in high competition. I've won tournaments. I've lost tournaments. I've beat some like very, very good players. I've lost to very good players. And I'm just trying to talk about. I'm being the voice for players who I think are trying to play this game for fun or a little weaker, and I'm trying to speak up for them because I think this would be a better direction for the game. So I'm going to talk about one more thing. I won't make this video too long for my first video, but I think this is nice to address a lot of what I'm talking about. So, I want to talk about this game and balancing. I'll be honest with you, I don't think this game will ever be balanced, and sometimes that's okay. Um, I think that this game needs to appeal to the survivors, and the reason is because players that are playing Survivor, there's more of them. So when you look at the game, it's one killer, four survivors. Majority of the player base that plays this game plays Survivor. There are certain people who will just not even choose to play killer at all, just because Survivor is kind of the appeal. They want to come into the game with their friends and they want to have a casual fun time, load up, just have a laugh or whatever, do some fun things. But so I've always felt that, like, yes, this game has been Survivor sided, and even with me talking about all of what I did, when I say this game's Survivor sided, I mean at like the top end. Like, if you got four survivors that are teaming together that are all using communication, most cases they are going to beat the killer. This is kind of how this game is designed, how it's made. Not to say that the killer can't win, but it's definitely a lot more of an uphill battle for him instead of the survivors. So what I think we should try to do is, like, tone down just a few of the things that I mentioned earlier with some of the builds for killer. And then we can also tone down, or maybe not even tone down, but like turn up some of the weaker killers so we can have more fun on Survivor side and we have more variety. That way the games doesn't get as stagnant. When it comes to survivors as well, a lot of people I know like to talk about camping, tunneling, and whatnot as like a boring kind of a thing. But even though, as I bring this up, you could look right here, we have anti-camp measures. So like there are times where, like, if killers camp, they do get punished. Like, my teammate here, we're going to lose this game. Doesn't look so good, but you can see here he gets to get off the hook for free, and then, like, we could just kind of do gens. And yeah, so I think I got to cover a good bit of what I wanted to talk about in my first YouTube video that I'm trying to push for doing DBD content. And I wanted to think about if there's anything else I'd like to talk about on the game or just get off my chest before I close here. But I just like to mention or bring up that it's not just you guys. So if you guys are, like, under the boat of, like, you only got a few thousand hours, or maybe less, maybe you're just new to the game and you only got like 500 hours or whatever, you're not the only ones. Dude, I'm telling you, I played this game since I came out of the womb. I had the disc in my hand and shit. But even me, with this many hours and this much time, I'm still struggling out here in solo queue, or even in a duo queue. I'm still getting 4K'd. And I think, like, it's kind of weird. Like, not that I deserve to win my games or like nothing like that, but it's just that I'm just imagining players who don't have nearly as much experience, how their games are going to go. They're gonna get cooked, you know. They're not gonna be able to do very much. And I think if we wanted to make this game a little more healthy, a little more friendly, we can maybe try to help them out a bit. Okay, everybody. This is my first video. This is me just talking about the state of Dead by Daylight. If you guys want to hear more of what I have to say, or if we want to talk more about it in the long road, I'm going to try to upload more YouTube content and make more videos. And yeah, this was that. So thank you, everybody who pulled up. Appreciate it.